Hey everybody, it's Gabe here, also known as Lone Wanderer 6594 here on YouTube, and today is a pretty special video because this is my first ever review on YouTube of the first ever 3D Mario game that I've ever beaten 100%. And that game is Super Mario Galaxy. I'll just show you guys the front and the back here quick. Hopefully it gets in the frame. So anyway, how I'm gonna go about this review is I'll basically start with like the story, gameplay, music, graphics, and then a final verdict. I'm not sure like reviews going forward if I'm gonna be rating it like like a 1 to 10 or like 0 to 5 scale. I guess we'll see what happens with reviews going forward, but anyway, let's start with the story. So, if you've played pretty much every Mario game, you probably know how this story starts. But anyway, this game starts with Mario on his way to Peach's castle for a holiday called the Star Festival. Now, as he's making his way up to Peach's castle, for basically them to watch like shooting stars together on the balcony, Bowser emerges on his flying ship and basically lifts Peach's castle out of the air and just up above Earth, like in space. And I'll tell you guys, like when I first saw this back in like, November 2007 as a little kid, I think I was like 13 when this game was brand new, but anyway, my jaw dropped. I personally think that's like the best introduction to Bowser of like any Mario game. Like just the way like he did it so flawlessly and like turned like every nearby house like next to Peach's castle into smithereens. Like in short, I thought it was badass. Like why didn't Bowser just do that sooner? Anyway, Mario tries his best to rescue Peach, but fails and is basically left stranded into space thanks to Bowser. Now he's found by a completely new character made for this game called Rosalina. Now, Rosalina's backstory can actually be revealed, like, the more and more you play. You go into a part of the hub world you can explore called the library, and it shows her backstory like in the style of like a children's picture book. And honestly, without going into too much details, I thought her backstory was like really sad and depressing, and I was really like surprised that, especially for Mario, that there would be a character introduced with like such a sad backstory that she has. Anyway, other than that, like, it's a pretty straightforward Mario story, and like I said, you've pretty much played it all before, apart from Rosalina's backstory. Now, the gameplay. Guys, I'm not going to exaggerate here. This game has, like, some of the most well-designed platforming levels in history. Like, I had never seen levels designed this way. Like it was so thought-provoking. Nintendo took full advantage of the space setting just to let their imaginations run wild. And also going to the motion controls, like the motion controls in this game, they do not feel overused at all. Like the most basic thing you do is like just shake the Wii remote to do the spin attack you get for this game, but others there's like like you have to use the cursor like to navigate Mario through a level, like when he's in a bubble, or like balance, like use the Wii remote like tilt it when like Mario's balancing on this huge ball. Like it's pretty interesting stuff, and most of it really doesn't feel like unintuitive at all. Like it's really amazing just how second nature they made the motion controls feel in this game. Now I'm moving on to, I think the next category was audio. Well, if it wasn't, whatever. The audio in this game is actually, I believe, I think it's the first Mario game to ever use like a full orchestra, and they took full advantage of that. Like, some of these orchestrated songs are like, once you hear them, you will remember them for the rest of your life. Like, I think there's an earlier level, I think it's called Gusty Garden Galaxy. Sorry if I got that name wrong, but anyway, like, once you hear the main theme music of that level, like, you'll be humming it, like, just pretty much over and over as you go about your day. And there's a bunch of other, like, songs that sound so good, like, they could fit right into, like, Lord of the Rings. Like, there's seriously some songs in this game that are that good. And I think it's a soundtrack that you'll remember for, like, decades to come, if not the rest of your life. Now, move on to the graphics for this game. I don't know if this is a popular opinion or not, like, but I think this game, like, it's one of the best looking games I've ever seen in my life. Like, I mean, yeah, granted, the Wii, not the most powerful console around, like, technically, but they made this game look, it's like drop dead gorgeous sometimes. Like, some of the environments, like, they just look so incredible that it feels like you could almost taste them, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, but like, there's some beautiful looking water effects, and like, you'll play some levels where like the floor will dissolve, and it looks like surprisingly realistic at times. And I think they did an almost perfect job with the presentation in this game with what they had, like with the Wii. So, anyway, now let's go to the final verdict. So, the final verdict for this game, I'm going to rate it on a 1 to 10 scale, and surprise to nobody, I'm going to give it the highest score possible. I'm going to give this game a 10 out of 10. Now, you might be thinking, oh, Gabe, you probably think this game's perfect and it has no flaws at all. Actually, no. I honestly, like, I could understand, like, if people would hear someone say, like, a game's 10 out of 10 or, like, the highest score available, like, that the game's perfect. Personally, I don't feel like there is such a thing as, like, the perfect game. But anyway, this is a game that, like, everyone on Nintendo, they outdid themselves, and I think it's going to be remembered as a gem for decades and decades to come. If you haven't played it yet, incredibly, I would highly suggest that you do so. You're in for a real treat. Alright, well, that wraps up the review, so hope you guys enjoyed this. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe if you want to. And I'll see you guys in the next upload. Have a good rest of your day.